Hey guys, what's up? Kyle from Cause 3D. Today we are going to be assembling our Macrobinocular kit that we sell on our Etsy store. So this is just going to be a quick tutorial video. We're not going to do any finishing sanding or anything like that. We're just going to do an assembly video and let's see how it works out. All right guys. It's a pretty straightforward build on these. We designed these in-house. Just get all our parts out here on the table so you can see what we're working with, and we'll get started here. So the first thing we're going to do, if you want to sand and paint this before you start, this would be the time now, sanding, painting. I mean, there's tons of videos online for you to watch to be able to learn how to do that. But we're just going to start the assembly. Now I did choose a white filament on this, just so it'd be a little bit easier to see where I'm putting all the parts on in the black. When you're tightening things down, don't ever over tighten stuff, because all of the black parts that you see on the table currently are actually cast out of, or made out of resin. So you can crack them if you over tighten them. But for this video, we're just giving you the gist. So we'll start there, get that piece on, and then we're just going to move right over to the front piece here. So the front piece, you about can't mess this up. It does all fit to the corresponding parts. There is one tricky part here that we're going to work on, and that's the center piece. So we've sent a fogged lens with it, and and the kit also comes a fisheye. So you have two choices at this point, depending upon which build you actually want to do. We just slide that piece into the front. Now the next piece that's going to go on is this. So this is where you make your decision whether you want the fisheye in there, which you now have to you would have to hot glue this in to hold it where you want it. But that does make it to where you can actually see into the body of the unit. You can also follow it up with putting the fogged lens in the back, which gives it a very, very nice, yeah, nothing ever works when you're filming, right? It gives it a nice look like that. Or you can forego the lens and go in this direction, which is actually more like, I believe, the one that's used on the Mandalorian. It's got the fogged lens, and I'm not positive, but the Hoth version, I can't remember off the top of my head which one that is, which I can grab. Yeah, so I believe it also just has the fogged lens in it. But we do send the fisheye with it, just so you have a couple options there. So let's go ahead, and I am going to get these parts in. Now I'm just going to hot glue them for the demonstration video. I don't really think that, since I don't want to get too crazy with this, I do want to take this back apart after I'm done, because I would have a preference of a different color on it than just the white filament here. So we're going to throw some hot glue in here, clean that up a bit, and then next a little bit of glue in here so that we can attach that front lens. And that's it for the front piece there. Pretty straightforward. Next, we're going to attach this piece. Again, pretty simple. We've pretty much made this to where it's relatively easy to assemble. You almost can't put the wrong piece in the wrong place. So we've got our front piece done here. This is the end that faces away from your eyes. And now we're going to move over to this piece right here. So you've got a small bubble piece that goes right here. I'll move my hand as soon as I get it set into the center there. This particular piece goes right here on the front bottom of the left eye. And then the toggle switch up here on the top, you've got your on and off toggle switch. This is probably something that I would normally use super glue on, obviously, but as I said, for the build process for the video, we're just going to use some hot glue. I don't know that that would stay on there very long with just hot glue. All right, just drop this piece right in there. So as you see, it's taking shape pretty quickly here. You get the adjustable, what would be an adjustable eye piece on a normal set of binoculars. Obviously, these do not magnify. You really can't see through them. They are just a visual prop to carry around with your snow trooper, Hoth trooper, whatever you want to do. You're doing something for the Mandalorian. And there you have it. That's that piece. I mean, this build goes pretty quick. So the next thing I'm going to move over to is the inside here before we attach it to the body. And we've sent a piece of safety visor with it. It does peel off. It does come in a protective coating. I'm going to leave the coating on for right now, but it is a pretty clear piece. So this is probably the only relatively tricky part of the build. And what I usually do is I just mark out where it's going to sit. And I do use hot glue on this part right here on every single one that I build. And I'm just going to drag a little bit of hot glue down through here around the edges. One right through the center there. And just slap that right in the middle of where I have my marks. If you get a little bit over the edge, make sure you remove it, because when you go to put the body together, you don't want anything in there to obstruct it for a gap. And now what that does is gives you a smoked, and you won't probably be able to see that on camera, but it gives you a smoked look on the inside so that you can't see through the body of it, and it does look pretty legit when you get it together. All right, so we're going to move over to this piece right here. And there are 3 holes. There are 3 screw holes on this piece. They simply line up. You use the provided screws that come with it. And we're just going to drop those in right there. So one thing that I have found on this particular build, just to make your life a little easier, is to get the screws poking out ever so slightly on this piece first, and it helps you line everything up. The screwdriver that I have in my hand right now is not a very good screwdriver for these screws. So Zach just handed me a better one. Excellent. All right, as you can potentially see, it's just poking out just a hair there. It's going to help us line up what we need. Difficult to build things on camera because I'm holding things at a different angle that I don't normally like to hold them at. All right. Okay, so we got all 3 tips pointed out just a little bit. I don't glue this piece together simply because if I ever want to remove it, this is way easier to access the internal parts of it. And like I said earlier, I don't over tighten screws. Just a little gap there still. Torque that down nicely. So we're pretty much there. The only thing that we have left to do at this point is put on our front piece. Now, the part that sticks up the highest is what goes over the right side. That's the only tricky part to this. And once you are ready to put that in, a little bit of glue along the edges here. And that should just slide perfectly on there. All right, guys, that is it for that build. It's that quick and easy. All right, guys, that's it. Quick and easy build today. And as I mentioned before, you can get these kits on our Etsy store. Again, we get asked occasionally, can you see through them? Technically, no, you really can't, but they are just a prop. They do have a receiver here where you can put your straps on so that you can hang them around your neck. They're relatively light and the rigidity is good, so you can cosplay with them, and they hold up really well. But make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.